Good morning, meteorologist Bob Acarfrio with today's tropical update for August 10th, 2011. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Middle of the week here. A couple things we're looking at in the tropics today. Nothing of immediate concern, but a little more action in the eastern Atlantic as we start to heat up for what I think will be the kickoff of this hurricane season. Even though we've started it, but really start ramping up by next week, and we could be tracking two or three storms maybe by next week. So get ready for the action to start heating up here. Anyway, what we have today, let's go from west to east here. First, across Florida here, southeast. A lot more rainfall today for central and south Florida, starting to dry up across much of Georgia here in North Florida. But anyway, we have this trough here, and this could get a little interesting this weekend. We may see something try to spin up here off the southeast coast. Again, if anything does spin up, it's going to move out to sea, but it should be interesting to see if we get some kind of tropical system trying to spin up here along this old frontal boundary here that's gonna lie down over here. So we'll be watching that area over the weekend. Tropical wave here moving through the islands. Nothing really with it at the moment. Again, maybe something to watch as it moves into the Western Caribbean. You never know. This time of year, you have to keep an eye on these guys as they get through the Caribbean and sometimes want to get going as they get into the Western Caribbean. So we'll be watching that. Then we have here peeking through here is the western edge of a kind of a broad area of circulation here, which is our Invest 92L. It's back in invest status. So we'll be having model runs on this system here and tracking it. The National Hurricane Center gives this about 20% chance of developing in the next 48 hours. And conditions are pretty good for slow development here. We still have a little bit of that drier air near it, but it's kind of waning a little bit. So it's perked up a little bit in the last 24 hours. I'm going to zoom in on that area in a moment here. Water vapor loop, again, trough along the east coast. Little area of high pressure here north of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. Then another trough out here. You see a big expanse of that dry air here across the main development region. And let's see, what else do we have for you? So that's it for the water vapor. So let's close in on our Invest out here. This is Invest 92L. And I'm going to put this into motion here real quick. And I'm going to just show you here what we have going on with this Invest currently. Once this gets loaded up here, just give me 1 minute here. Thought I had this loaded up. Here we go. So it's kind of a broad area here. We kind of have one piece here and then another piece south of the Cape Verdes. We'll have to see if this whole area could consolidate, kind of get bigger. You can see convection pretty much expanding with time. We have a area of high pressure over this area currently. So if it could get big enough and really mix out that dry air, this could be on its way of becoming a possible tropical depression or tropical storm Franklin by the weekend. So we'll have to wait and see. Now again, it still has that dry air around it, but it's kind of mixed that out a little bit. It's kind of dry air's kind of moved farther west. So kind of a big area right now, really needs to consolidate. If we kind of stop this animation here, and I'm going to just show you the shear right now. And you can see that bubble of high pressure over it now. We will have higher shear values up to its north and northwest. So we'll have to see. This high pressure could kind of move along with it. It could be in a good environment to keep on developing here. If we look at the drier air currently, and well, there's ocean heat content. Hang on a sec. Here's precipitable water. You can see the blue is the drier air. Less water here. So you can see it's kind of in an area where it's kind of got a little moist environment with it right now. So if it can maintain this and maintain this anticyclone with it, it has a good chance of possibly getting going here by the weekend. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, a long way off for any kind of effects to any of the islands or even the United States. I'll show you why I really don't believe this one's even going to come close to the United States with the pattern we're in. So should be safe on this one, but again, it's a long way off. Looking again at the waves that are going to be coming off Africa and why it's really going to start heating up here. So we have, again, Invest 92L. Here's another one that the models really like. This one's coming off a little farther south than Invest 92L. So we'll have to watch this one as well. That's going to maybe try, and this could be our next Invest 93L in the next couple days. And then here's another guy ready to come off in about 3 or 4 days. So starting to line up here, starting to get to be that time of year, and might have a lot to watch coming off Africa here shortly. Shear for the rest of the Atlantic here. Again, here's that trough here, and this is what's I'm going to show you the steering currents in a minute. This is what's going to kind of get this guy to move north of the islands, 92L, and then probably eventually out to sea this way. You know, again, a long way off. Anticyclone over a good part of the Caribbean right now. Again, we'll have to watch that little wave as it moves into the Western Caribbean. You never know there. And again, steering currents right now. Broad trough over the eastern United States. Little bubble of ridge. Then another trough here. Then a ridge. Right now, our Invest 92L is moving basically west-west-northwest around the Azores high. But again, we're going to have a series of troughs coming off the east coast. It's really going to put a dent in our subtropical high, and like I said, it looks like Invest 92L is going to take more of this path and be one of those Bermuda storms, possibly getting close, you know, east or west of Bermuda. We know that kind of pattern already. So, and again, the one behind it, that one could move farther south. I'll show you that in a minute. Early model runs on Invest 92L. These were run mostly last night, and you could see basically that same kind of path I was telling you about. Again, if I wanted to put percentages on 92L, whether it'll affect the United States or the islands or not, it's basically an 80% not going to affect, 20% could. So it's mostly that 80-20 right now. In the position it's in now, and just looking at the pattern ahead, you know, it has a pretty good chance of missing the islands and the United States. Intensity models, LGEM ships say yes, this could become our first hurricane in about 72 hours. But again, you know how some of these intensity models are in the beginning, especially when a system hasn't even developed yet. I look at these as a grain of salt, with a grain of salt in the beginning, but conditions are pretty favorable out ahead of this system. Like I said, the only bad thing would be that dry air, and if it could become large enough, it could fight that dry air away. Okay, let's look at the models, and everybody loves this part of the show here. We have the GFS, and this is, again, showing both our systems. This is 92L, and this could be 93L behind it. You saw that wave coming off Africa a little farther south. So you see here, Invest 92L, here's that first trough right in here, Azores high. It's going to kind of move that north of the islands, and then finally another trough off the east coast picks it up, possibly, like I said, east or west of Bermuda, near Bermuda. And then here's 93L. Looks like it's going to come off a little farther south. So when they come off a little farther south, that's when you kind of have to watch them a little more carefully. This one would probably move a little farther west than 92L. So we could have Franklin and Gert next week. Like I said, we could be tracking two systems. And then also, we want to watch for a little spin up off the southeast coast here as well this weekend. So could we see 3 storms maybe within a week? Could be interesting. But again, we're going to watch this this frontal boundary and trough here and see what'll try to spin up here off the southeast coast. It's a possibility we could see something there as well. Looking at the Euro model, and you'll see 92L here come into play. So there's 92L again going around the ridge, and then well east of the United States, and then you saw 93L behind it as well. Last but not least, we'll look at no gaps. The third model, it's always GFS Euro, and then I like the third model. I like to throw in something different, whether we look at UK Med, no gaps, Canadian. Today we'll look at no gaps, and you could see here's 92L here. It actually takes 92L a little farther south. Has a little weaker trough up here, a little stronger Azores high here. So, and again, you see it does not develop that system behind 92L. So, again, it's early in the game here, and we'll see what happens. I'm a little confident, pretty confident right now that 92L would not affect the islands or the United States. But again, very early in the game. Just remember, next week could be tracking 2 to 3 storms. Watch off the southeast coast this weekend, see what happens. Again, if anything does develop out there, it will move out to sea. So just be something to look for, just to see what, just for the boating interest and possibly Bermuda out there. Well, that's it for today. Again, I'll have another tropical update. I'm trying to do these every day. If not, it's going to be about an every other day event, unless we get something popping as far as a storm. Then I'll be doing them every day. Have a good day, and if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Robert, ACANFRIO. Have a good day. Bye-bye.